Stop the rejections. Make self-publishing an option. Workshop sponsored by the National Writers Union, Boston Chapter Steering Committee. Today's workshop will be focusing on 3 segments. The first one is getting things ready. Once you have your manuscript, you have no idea what to do with it. We will talk about that. Just remember, once you self-publish, you are the publisher. The second segment, we'll talk about platforms. There's quite a few platforms out there, but we're going to talk about KDP, Smashwords, Ingram Spark, and local printing companies. Platforms right now. So platforms, Kindle, Smashword, Ingram Spark, and local print. Ken, I think you wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm going to start on this. Well, I'm going to be talking mostly about the online platforms, but I did want to mention one standard printer because a member of our union said, Ken, you got to mention them. It's a union printer. I'm happy to plug them. It's called Hamilton Printing in Castleton, New York. I don't have experience with them personally, but he did. He said he had a print run of 2,000 and he paid about $4.45 per copy. So that's a nice deal. I'm glad to support union printers. Coming from Ann Arbor, where Edwards Brothers used to be based. I say used to be because they're not, their history now, but Edwards Brothers was one of the first main small press printers, and it ultimately spawned 7 other printers in town. They're known as the Seven Sisters. Most of them are gone now. But anyhow, that's all I wanted to say about the standard printers. Other people can talk more about them. I wanted to talk about the online ones. The 3 that I use are Smashwords, Kindle, and Ingram Spark. Smashwords is ebook only. I like them because they're author friendly, and I'll be talking about them a little bit more. Kindle or KDP, that's the Amazon one. They do ebooks and they do soft cover. Everybody hates Amazon, but they're the biggest player in town. So you got to decide, do you hate them so much that you're going to give up all your sales? It's just one of those ugly situations. If we could unionize them, that would be great, but we're not there yet. Then there's Ingram Spark. In the old days when we had only print books, Ingram was one of the book distributors we wanted to get our books into, and it was a challenge because they didn't always go for small presses. So small presses had a hard time getting distribution. Nowadays, with the electronic printing, Ingram Spark is the online Ingram. It's Ingram, but it's for the online. They do ebooks, they do soft cover, and they also do hardcover. So if you're going hardcover, that's the one to go to. Also, bookstores prefer them. You want to get your books into the bookstores. They hate going through Amazon. So if you want to get into the bookstore, you got to consider, you got to use Ingram Spark. What I don't like about Ingram Spark is that they charge you to upload books. Smashwords is free, Kindle is free, but here's the catch. Not the catch. Here's the positive side. Ingram Spark, occasionally, and I don't know how often, but it's enough. They have offers, they have opportunities to upload for free. The specials, hey, this month only. The next month they'll do the same thing. But this month, free upload. To look for those. I went with Smashwords and Kindle, and I avoided Ingram Spark until they came up with a freebie. Then I put all my books that are online onto Ingram Spark. So they're all there now. You can hire someone to upload the files, but you don't really need to. It's pretty easy to do. What you do is, let's start with Smashwords. You create an author page, which is where you give your own, your own information. And then you do a book page for your book. Then when you go to Amazon, it's the same author page pretty much. And likewise, Ingram Spark, pretty much the same information. The only difference is going to, well, those are pretty much the same. Then you do the book page for your specific book, and those will be pretty much the same from one platform to the other. The main difference is every book you have to category, what category does it fall into? And the different platforms have different categories. So that has to be specific per platform. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. When you come out with your second book, you've already got the author page. You don't have to make any change. You just have to add a new book page. So I start with Smashwords, and I'll tell you why. To me, they're the most author friendly. It was started by another author. His name is Mark Coker. And what really jumps out at me is that they give royalties every month. And that's not enough. They give, if your royalty is as low as 1 penny, and I don't know how you get a royalty that low, but if you do, they'll still give you your royalty. Now let me put this in perspective. I said I've been a book contract advisor for over 30 years. As the founder of the Academic Writers Caucus, I became the contract advisor for the academic presses. These are the worst in the business. Maybe poetry one contracts are worse. I'm not sure. Other than that, they're the worst in the business. And there is a clause in the standard contract that says that you have to earn some artificial minimum amount of royalty in order for them to pay. So whenever the royalty statements go out, well, let me put it as a horror story. As a contract advisor, I've seen these minimums go upwards of almost $100. I mean, let me see what this means. If you don't earn $100 in your royalties, they withhold the royalties altogether until your next royalty statement comes around. And to give you another clause in the contract says how often you receive your royalties. In the academic press, it's not unusual to receive royalties once a year. So put these two together. You have to earn $100, and if you don't earn $100, they hang on to it for another year. They keep it in their bank account. They earn royalties on your money for a year. If you earn $99, the day royalties are due, you don't get anything. If a day later you earn that extra $1, now you've got the 100. Too late. The royalties have already gone out. They're going to hang on to it for a year. So that's what I'm comparing. Smashwords comes out and says a penny. That's wild. So anyhow, I like them for that. Now there are other. Let me see. They also. What else did I want to say here? They also have what's called Mark's List. Okay, I like this. Mark Coker is the founder. To do an ebook, you have to code the book. Okay, you don't just upload a doc file. There has to be certain coding that goes into it. He wrote a book that gives all the coding that you have to know in order to do it yourself. I don't know about you. I looked at that book and I said, okay, this convinced me of one thing. I can't do it myself. I don't want to mess with it. That's not my thing. So he's got what he calls Mark's List. Mark's List is people who have uploaded books successfully, and now they offer their services at very, very decent rates. And so I went up to Mark's List. I kind of winged it, figure out, read all the bios, found one that I liked, and that's the one I used. And I've used him ever since then. What he does, he creates the ebook for me for Smashwords. Now in Smashwords, it actually says on the copyright page, Smashwords edition. You can't put that into Amazon, but all you have to do is get rid of it. There are 2 or 3 references in the Smashwords edition to Smashwords per se. So my typesetter gives me that file. He also pulls out all the references to Smashwords, and poof, now I've got my Amazon ebook. And if I want to put ebook on Ingram Spark, it's the same one as Amazon. Then he can also typeset it. And now I've got the book that I need for the soft cover, which doesn't do Amazon Smashwords, of course, but you can do that for a Kindle and Ingram Spark. He does the cover, and for the cover, the ebook and the back cover, the ebook and the soft cover are the same front cover. So he can do that. Then he also will put the spine in and the back cover. You write the text for it, and he'll do all of that. But that's not all. He does more than that. The front cover, he'll take the front cover and he turns that into a business card. Let me show you this.
Ken.
Yeah.
Can you take the same manuscript that you use for KDP and use that for the Smash? Say if I wanted to use that same one and put it into Smash as an ebook only, that manuscript that I did, could I use the same one?
It's the same manuscript, but it's a different file. You know, it's going to look different on the inside. The ebook manuscript looks different than the soft cover. The formatting is a lot different. For one thing, you can change the size of the type. You know, the readers, in other words, can change the size of the type. You can't get too frustrated with yourself trying to make the manuscript look the same as the soft cover. You know, it's just different. I don't. Does that answer the question?
Tim?
Yeah, I want to amplify what Ken said. When you go to an ebook, especially if you have any illustrations or artwork or boxes or any artwork along the interior, an ebook really has a different flow, of text and images. It's really like a continuous flowing, because different platforms will put a different amount of text on the page that you see. So you really need to visualize your Kindle book separately. It's a different process than your print book. Your print book has a fixed, each page is fixed, and you know exactly where every word goes, where the header goes, if there's a header at the top. So it's quite different.
But the ebook, and when you go to Kindle and I know that Kindle do offer upload a standard format, inside cover format that you can upload directly from Kindle, that you can insert the manual script into that. Now, does Smashword have the same thing?
Smashwords format is different. Smashwords is ebook only. The ebook for Smashwords and the ebook for Kindle, those will be the same. They'll look the same. That's why you can use the same file with all references to Smashwords pulled out. Other than that, the files are the same. And when you go to softcover, it's a totally different look. I wanted to make one more point before I turn it over to Tim.
Okay.
I was talking about the person you connect with from Mark's List, and any typesetter will do this. I've used Mark's List. After they get done laying out the book, what they'll do is they can take the front cover and turn it into a business card. Okay, real nice. Here's the book. Here's the business card. Another one of my books, Ken Wachsberger's Puns and Wordplays for the Job Seeker. Here's the business card. Your partner has breast cancer. This is my another one. Here's the business card. So I mean, this is beautiful. I love it. It's so easy. It's so inexpensive. And of course, when we get down to marketing, this is, I won't say this again because I'm saying it now, but that's part of what you do for marketing. So, and also book cover. I mean, a bookmark. I use this now for my new book.
What do you call inexpensive?
What's that?
What do you call inexpensive to make the business cards?
The layout, boy, the layout I think was like $25. I mean, it's pretty cheap $25, I think, was what it cost. He did everything as a package. You know, he did the ebook, the soft cover, he did the cover, the bookmark. I mean, sorry, the business card, and it was only a couple $100, I think, for the whole thing. So I mean, that's pretty cheap. It's pretty inexpensive. Now, if you want, I'll be honest with the cover. He didn't use a lot of original art. You know, he found, you know, he went through, you know, Pixabay or whatever, and he found, you know, cheap or free designs and used those. But you know, I was okay with that. You know, if you have original artwork, you to give it to him, and he'll put that in. If you don't, yeah, go ahead.
Tim?
Yeah, thanks. A couple of points. There are a couple of questions that were raised in the chat. I thought I might jump on a couple of those, or that came up in the conversation. The first is, when you design an interior for your book, you can share that interior file between Amazon Kindle and Ingram Spark for your print book. They're the same interior, but the covers are a little bit different. So you need to redesign the cover just slightly when you go from Amazon Kindle to Ingram. And what they have what's called a template. They'll actually send you a diagram with dotted lines that show the border of the page, because remember, a book is laid out on PDF as 2 pages with a gutter in the middle,
Spine.
and it'll show, yeah, and the spine, and it'll show you the margins that you can't go past and so on, and it'll be a little bit different for Ingram. So whoever is designing your book for you, they're going to have to design a second cover for Ingram Spark, just slightly different.
Slightly different. I actually used Tim's friend to help me with my cover for Ingram Spark.
Yeah, Dave is really outstanding, and he's very reasonable. A couple of people asked about warehousing your books. If you do a large print run, if you hire a private printer, a union printer, or even a non-union shop, but you hire a private printer, some authors are going to like Malaysia, Vietnam, China, and they're having the books printed there. I'm not recommending it. I've never done it, but they do it. The cost is extremely low. But if they do that, then where do you warehouse it? Well, a lot of printing companies will warehouse the book for you for a small fee. And in fact, there are a couple of them that will do it for free. So you might query, if you decide to go with a private printer, you might query them and ask them, how much will you charge? When my first book went out of print, I bought the remaining books that had not been sold when they went out of business from a middleman, a middle guy who he buys books from publishers that went out of business. And I had, I don't know, maybe a dozen cartons, 15 cartons. So we didn't have room for that in our 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. So I hired a storage unit, and I just go out there every few weeks and pull a cart down, pull a box out. So that's an option for you if you're going to do a large print run. The advantage of a large print run is the cost per book to you goes down dramatically, right? If you ask Ingram Spark to print a 300-page book for you, paperback book, 300 pages, it's going to cost you around $450 just for the printing. But if you go with a large print run from a printer, the price can come down to $2 or $3. So that's one of the advantages about using a print run. If you don't sell them and you buy all those copies, you're stuck with them. Then you're out the money. So you have to weigh the risk of paying for a large print run if you can't sell your books. About the compensation, when Amazon sells one of your books with Kindle Direct, remember, it's print on demand. So someone goes to Amazon, they buy your book. There are no books in their warehouse. Actually, there are, but that's a separate issue. But they basically do not warehouse your book. So when someone pays for a book, they print it, bind it, and ship it right out. And then they put money in your account. If you compare the compensation they pay you, it's not, technically speaking, it's not exactly a royalty. But if you compare the compensation you're going to make from Amazon when they print and sell your book versus Ingram, when they print and they sell your book to a bookseller, the compensation is quite different. The compensation for Ingram is about 1/3 lower than you get with Kindle. So as an example, I have a book, a black and white interior. My compensation from Kindle was $5, a little over $5. That's because it was a slim book, $15 book, slim, not a lot of pages. Ingram paid me $4.05. So there was a dollar difference. There are a lot of differences in these. I have a book, another slim book with a black and white interior. When Amazon prints and sells it, they pay me $3.75. And Ingram Spark, I get about $2.75. So it's just to be aware of when you're trying to calculate where is your highest profit margin. Your highest profit margin is to buy the book in bulk and then you sell it for a full price. That's your largest compensation. If you're paying $4 to print, for someone to print the book for you, and you're selling for $15, you're doing good. Amazon is going to give you $3 or $4. So your best bet is to try and find direct markets from your website or from book fairs like the Brooklyn Book Festival, for example.
But just to add to that, let me just add to that though, is that you don't want to think, well, this one pays more than that, so I'm only going to go with this one. You have to go where the readers are. If you go to a book fair, no one's going to go to a book fair and buy from Amazon. They're going to buy directly from you. So you need the inventory. And that is indeed the best. If you can sell it personally, that's the best. But if someone wants to buy Amazon, you got to be on Amazon. If they hate Amazon and they only go with Ingram Spark, well, you got to be on Ingram Spark, even though it pays a little bit less.
I have questions, then we're going to move on to marketing. What about Lulu? We didn't talk about Lulu, but is there a comparison? Someone asked about Lulu.
I haven't used Lulu myself. I can't really comment on that too intelligently. Yeah,
nor have I.
Okay. I was a co-author to two industrial social textbooks that has who is this? Bob. He's trying to reach your, is Bob there? Can you unmute yourself? I use them.
Sorry, yeah.
What was your question? You was a co-author. Did you have a question or is this a comment?
Did I made a comment. I didn't have a
question.
question.
Okay, all right. Did anyone else have any questions that hasn't been in the chat box that you want to ask about platforms? Anything about Kindle, Smash, Ingram, or any local printer company? Marva?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. So if you went through Amazon, and your book was priced at $15, they give you like $4 and they get the rest of the money? That sounds like a ripoff to me. I always thought it was, but I don't know.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, yes, I mean, how do you think the guy got so rich, right? but the point is that we're using a fairly new technology called print on demand. Mm-hmm. And that means that when someone buys the book, Amazon will print it and will charge you for the printing cost. Then they'll charge you a fee for handling it because they're acting as the seller. Right. So you're paying two different fees, a fee to print it and a fee for them to ship it for you. So that's how they take such a big chunk out of it. You can.
But what they do too, because you're an author, you do have a discount for author purchase. The
author gets it a very good price.
You as an author will get. You only have to pay. I think it's $4. Yeah, but all of this is done before you decide how much you want your book to be on Amazon, how much you want them to charge. You decide how much of the profits you're going to get, and you decide as a owner of the book, as a distributor or the publicist of the book, once you create it, you also get a discount, and I think you may not pay over $4 per copy. You order the book. That's you ordering your books to sell is only going to cost you about $3 or $4 per
Correct.
book.
Plus shipping and handling. Plus shipping and
Plus
handling.
shipping and handling, yes.
Yeah.
Plus shipping and handling. But when they sell it on Amazon, you say, I'm going to only sell this book for $10. They still send you, for somebody buying it, probably a royalty of maybe $3. So out of the
Pretty
10,
much.
they get to, yes. But because they're selling it on Amazon, they are handling the cost of the credit card and all of that. They charging you, but you get a royalty of maybe, I think it's like $3.50, $3.90. It depends on whatever you arrange with them. Does that make sense?
Pretty much.
It makes sense, but you know, what I did was went to a printing company and they charged something like, it amounted to about $8 a copy, and I'm selling it for $15. So that means that I get $7 on each book.
And they get 8.
Well, yeah, because they did the work of it. I mean,
But-
they
but
did
I-
get 8, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that $8 I was looking at, Marv, is because it was in color too. It's
Oh,
all
that's
color.
right,
That
right.
makes a difference. So
Right,
if it's
right.
black and white, you got another price. If it's all color, it's another price.
Mhm, mhm.
So you get to decide at what cost you really want to charge your book.
Right.
And I think,
right.
Ken, I think you said that when you put your book onto Kindle, that you really shouldn't put a price on your book when you do your ISB. When you set up your ISBN number and the barcode, don't really put a price on your book per se, because as a vendor, you can go and have your books on the table. There's no price on them, and you can charge whatever you want.
Mhm, mhm.
Because if it's a price on the book, then you have to go with the price. You can't say, oh, today is $15 when the price is on the book is 12.
You're right. You're right. You're free to change the price, in other words.
Yes, and when you set up that barcode is when you assign the price to your book. The ISBN number and the barcode.
Yeah, you can, like for instance, one of the things you do when you're putting together your book page is assigning a price to it. So whatever price you put $15 on Amazon for the cost. Then when a bookstore runs the barcode, $15 is going to come up. But if you go back to Amazon and change it, then the new price will come up, and you're free as the publisher to change prices anytime you want.
Yeah, but if you're only free to do that if there's no price on the book barcode.
Correct. I
Yeah,
agree
you
with
can't change it if you assign it to the barcode. Once it's assigned to the barcode, it's a done deal. But if you don't put a price on the barcode, then you can go back and forth and charge whatever you want.
Well, what you're doing is putting the price on the back cover itself. That's the thing. Once it's on the book, if I look at the back of the book and I see, oh, $15, that's there. That you can't change that unless you
Right.
get a new cover, which is pretty expensive.
Or a new ISBN number.
You know, you can't change the ISBN. Now, here's the thing. I saw a question on the chat box about, Kindle giving the ISBN, and you want to change that. When you usually, traditionally, I meant to say this before, so I'll say this now. Traditionally, in the old days, let's say, when you went into a second edition of any format, like say second edition of a softcover, you would put a new ISBN on it. Nowadays, the standard practice is, if you come out with the first edition, you get all these amazing reviews of your book. Then you go into a second edition and you put a new ISBN on it, you're going to lose all those comments. You lose them. It's a new book. So that's why nowadays, when you go into a second edition, keep the ISBN. Don't change it. Don't change it. Now, in the case of the question that came up on chat, you're trying to get out of Kindle, because you want to know a new one. I think I've never experienced this, but it seems to me that all you need to do is call it a second edition. Call it a second edition. You have to change the ISBN now, or you don't have to, but now refer to the old days, change the ISBN. Now, again, you're going to lose any comments that you got on that first edition. So you got to decide, is it worth it or not? But if you really want the ISBN in your publishing company's name, it's worth it. So change the ISBN. You'll lose the comments, but at least you get your own ISBN and you become the publisher again.
Any
Does
more
that answer
questions before?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ken, well, that was it, Ken? You
Yeah, I was
done?
just going to say, did that answer the question?
Okay. Any other questions while we on platforms? I know I saw one that said something about auto books, but we didn't talk about auto books. I'm not too familiar, and I didn't know if Kim and Tim wanted to mention something briefly about auto books.
I have a chapter in my book about audiobooks.
Okay.
Beyond that, I'm not really, I haven't found audiobooks myself, but the thing to keep in mind is that, nowadays you're hearing people say more and more, I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. One of the things they're saying is I don't have time to read. So if you can turn it into an audiobook, they'll put it in the car, and while they're driving, they'll listen to it. So audiobooks is a good platform, and it's an emerging platform. There's lots and lots of books in it.
Yes.
There are audiobooks is a new industry, really. So I can't give any prices. The chapter in my book does talk about, I interviewed someone who's an audiobook person. So that's how I got all my answers. But that's not I can't speak personally beyond that on it.
Tim?
Yeah, I think we should discuss audiobooks very briefly when we go into marketing, because it's really a marketing decision if you want to spend that kind of money.
Okay. Any other questions on platform? No? Okay, we'll move into